it. So I'm seeing this as a journey. If you want to have a marriage that is beautiful or more beautiful than beastly, if you want to have a marriage that you can look back after 1.5 years, like I'm looking back now, or decades, like the Okunpolos will be looking back now and see something beautiful, there are some things we need to take cognizance of today. And in the context of the theme of the month, I thought we could look at that through going through three doors. If you're going on a journey, if I'm going from here to pastor's office, I'll pass this door, I'll pass another door out there. Before I get to pastor's office, I would have passed three doors. So there are three doors that I think every single person must go through before you get to that point of having a beautiful marriage. And a beautiful marriage is not a flawless marriage. As a matter of fact, flaws sometimes is what heightens the beauty in something. Some people will see gap tooth and they will just like someone that has space between two teeth. It's actually a flaw, but it's a flaw that can make you really beautiful when you smile, if you know what I'm saying. So it's to say that we're talking about aiming for a beautiful marriage. Forget it, there is no perfect marriage anywhere in that context because we are all humans. And more so because I'm waking up to, there are some lessons that it takes someone that is freshly experiencing some things to share it with more urgency than someone that has experienced it for decades. Okay, so there are people in my country, for instance, in Nigeria, that want to do anything in their power to just travel out of the country, come to somewhere like this, as if we pluck money on trees. And then those of us that have come here and see how things work and how you've also had to be very industrious, how you've had to work hard and be very diligent, even sometimes beyond the order of what the minimum standard will be where you're coming from. You are quick to tell people that hey, cool down. Don't be quick to just want to come if you don't have all the necessary plans and if God is not more so leading you here. So it's in that context that I'm sharing today, because in 1.5 years of marriage, my eyes have opened in different ways to see, okay. These are those things they've been saying. But now, it makes sense because you are living it out on a daily basis. Okay, so having said that, the first door that I think it's very important for every single person to go through is what I call the door of reality. It's easy for us to sit down and discuss like this, finance, marriage, how everything plays out. We all live out of a build-up of cultural plus all sorts of understandings that we've picked up consciously or unconsciously that shapes how we view life, shapes our worldview, shapes how you interpret things. And no thanks to fiction world, movies, novels, M&Bs, they've made it look so much like if you can just find the right person, everything will be fine. If you can just get that one dashing sister or that rich, tall, dark, and handsome brother, everything will just work out. Everything will just be fine. And I think you need to first of all walk through that door where you discover that that's a myth. That's not exactly what happens in reality. Because part of what we did yesterday was we asked ourselves, okay, what do you have on your checklist of an ideal man, of an ideal woman? I could summarize all the answers into chemistry and attraction. When the person is attractive physically and you have this feeling, I heard someone say yesterday that you see him for who he is or you see her for who she is. What does that look like? It's chemistry, basically. Like you see the person and there's just a connection like, oh my God, it's just this person. And when you have that together, when you have that chemistry and attraction, it's very easy for the chemistry to even become physics. In other words, you tend to become physical and take it to the next level. Because that's what we've learned from movies. You see someone say, I love you, go down on one knee. The next thing, they are rolling under the sheets as if that's just what happens. That's how it should be. And the truth is, when, as a single person, you sign up for that, and you tend to take it to that level whereby I love you means getting physical, you're not yet married, it further worsens the situation because then your eyes becomes dull. You become camouflaged to seeing the discrepancies and dysfunctions that you need to start addressing. And sometimes money does that. When you think the guy is is very rich, or the lady is your, I mean, as a gold digger perhaps, the lady is your source of income. But you could see the flaws, and yet you can't address them for whatever reason. After I got married, I mean, we planned a very, very quiet marriage. Daddy is the father of the day. And it was supposed to be a very quiet wedding. My parents are not here. I've got family and friends that just came together to do what we wanted to do. But because my wife was graduating on the same day we got married, and she finished with the first class, so the school decided to make news out of it. They interviewed her, put it on their website, and some news bulletin. And before we knew it, the news just jumped around, and everyone everywhere was talking about it. And so people thought, this is a very lovely marriage story. And people started sending me and her messages on Facebook, inbox, marriage counseling. We became marriage counselors overnight. But when you read many of the stories of these people, there are stories that you want to sit the person and ask him or her, were you blind? I mean, someone is doing something like this to you consistently. I mean, they're getting physical in terms of fighting. He beats you every now and then. You are not yet married. And you are asking if you should stay in the relationship. It's not even a matter of God said you should. I mean, God would not even lead you to someone that will be beating you in courtship, let alone. And you are still asking. Those questions sound foolish, but it's not foolish to the person that is asking. It's because their eyes are blinded by very many factors. Money, getting physical, and all of those kind of things. It dulls you. So when you go through the door of reality to begin with, and that reality is the fact that finding the right person doesn't mean everything will be right. And by that, I mean even finding the person that God says is the one for you doesn't mean that everything is going to be right. When you wake up to that, then you can start the journey. It's one of the things that came alive to me. February 10, which is last Sunday, made it 6 years when my wife agreed to my proposal. But we didn't get married, of course, till last year. And between then and now, I mean, the last 18 months of my life, I've had to look back and say, so this is the same sister. And I'm sure she has done that even probably many more times than myself. This is that brother that looked so spiritual. He's always, I met her after a Bible study, for crying out loud. So someone that you met in a Bible study, you should think he's serious, he's God-fearing. But it goes beyond that. That's basically where I'm going. And the fact that you found the right person doesn't mean that everything is going to be all right.